Welcome everyone to the Derpzilla channel. Today I will be doing another video on my wife's 2019 Ford Mustang. So no, not on the Camaro ZL1, and no, not a super cool performance modification, and no, not adding any carbon fiber to my wife's Mustang quite yet, but in fact we'll be doing more of a convenience and just a quality of life upgrade, and that will be with a ProClip phone charger and mount combination. If you've seen any of my previous Instagram posts or videos, or actually if you check up here, I have a link to a ProClip mount that I did in my Camaro quite a while ago. It's been awesome. I paid full price for it. I actually have recently changed out the actual phone holder portion. I upgraded to an S23 Ultra, no longer fit in this one, and so I bought a replacement phone mount, and I didn't have to buy a whole new base, save a ton of money, and I was able to just swap this out for quick screws, swapped it out with the larger one, and my phone is back in action, mounted in my car. Didn't have to mess with the base mount, none of that. Super cool feature of the ProClip that you won't get with a lot of lesser quality phone mounts. Now, if you haven't seen the previous video or any of my posts, as you can see here, this is how my ProClip is situated in my Camaro. As you can see here, mounts super stable, no issues, perfect orientation, phone's in there, rock solid, you know, pops in and out, you know, does not, I mean, short of driving off of a cliff, this thing is not going to fall out. It's not going to be bouncing around. And if you notice, there's no cords or anything coming out of mine because I just don't like having any extra cables or wires. I like the super clean look. Now my wife, on the other hand, she has to have some kind of charging mechanism. She's in her car a lot more than I'm in mine. So I actually reached out to ProClip and they provided me this setup. They have a number of different variations for different cars. Hers is the 2019 Mustang, which gives us this base right here. This is actually the mount that actually connects inside the car. It's going to be mounted up by the actual vents. Maybe you can see it right here. And then you have a number of different options for actually mounting your phone to the mount. Just like I use this version for my car, this would actually work with this mount. You can swap this around if you wanted, if she had a smaller phone. But since she has to have charging capabilities, they sent me the Mighty Mouse wireless charging. It's got these cool little grip handles. You put your phone in there, it grips them, charges them wirelessly. And this is specifically for her phone. She has an iPhone 13 something or other Mega Plus. And so this is what she wanted. ProClip hooked me up with this at no charge. So this is sponsored by ProClip. Thanks a lot to them. I've been using them for, you know, almost 2 years now, and always paid full price. So this is not like I'm just putting this, you know, this install review video out just because they hooked me up with this. No, as you saw in my previous video, if you haven't, check it out. I'm just a big fan, and this was cool that they hooked me up with this. And it's really cool I can actually put on display the different variations of their phone mounts. Like I said, you want to save some money, or you just don't want cables, you don't want any kind of charging capability, you want just clean, minimalistic, you can go with this setup. This actually would work for the iPhone as well, as long as you go through their configurator on their website. You can actually pick your car, you can pick your phone. It'll give you numerous options. I believe for the Mustang, they only have this one option for your actual base mount. For the Camaro, there's two, just like the one I showed you off of the knee bolster. They have another one that's off of the gauge cluster area. So the Camaro has two for the 2016 and ups. The Mustang, I believe for the newer ones, only have the one, but you know, no big deal. This is actually perfectly mounted, and I really wouldn't pick any other option for where these would go. Perfect line of sight. And I believe it's 3 or 4 different phone mount options for most of your phone choices. So like this one, this is kind of like the premier one that looked like it had the most features. Now, one thing to note, I believe you have to use a cigarette lighter port, so keep that in mind. I don't think it has enough juice if you just go to a USB, directly to a USB port in your car. Most of the time they don't put out quite the amps you want. So you're gonna have to make sure you do run it to a cigarette mount. Now, of course, if you're really technical, you could hardwire this one way. We're not going to cover that in this video, but just wanted to point that out to you. So my wife is actually going to give me some assistance on this install. I've told her that, you know, since it's her car, she can lend a hand. We can get this thing, make sure it's perfectly calibrated for her preference, and I'll be using her phone to make sure everything clips into place. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get these things opened up, but what you really do is, like I said, for this version, the Mighty Mouse version, you get their Mighty Mouse charger mechanism. They give you an adapter. This adapter will then fit the Mighty Mouse, which I don't believe ProClip actually makes this. I think they just have a partnership with them. This will actually connect the Mighty Mouse to their vase. This is a super cool setup. Super, I mean, minimalistic. It's gonna just clamp right over by the vents, and then that will adapt to the adapter. The adapter will then hook to the Mighty Mouse. So we're gonna go ahead and get these opened up. We'll get them all spread out here, get the pieces that we need to connect prior to getting into the car. I'll have my wife join me in the vehicle as we get these things all hooked up. Basic tools, you don't need anything crazy. You don't need a, you know, a power ratchet. You don't need a jackhammer. You just get some basic screwdriver, and it looks like they even give you the trim tool here to help snap everything into place. So, I mean, it really can't be any easier, and you really cannot get a better mount phone charger combo. I haven't seen anything better. So stay tuned. We're gonna jump in and get this thing knocked out. As you can see, I have everything unboxed and laid out here on my workbench. And really, the overall composition of parts is going to be very similar no matter what car or phone combination you order from ProClip. You're going to get your car mount, whatever kind of car you have. It'll, of course, differ what mount you have. And then you're going to get the adapter pieces, which this is right here, if you go with the Mighty Mouse. And, of course, it'll be a little bit different if you go with, you know, the more traditional, just standard phone holder. And then, of course, you're going to have over here your actual phone holder itself, depending on what option you select. And of course, this one is the Mighty Mouse variation. And really, overall, pretty similar no matter what setup you go. Install is going to be very similar. This video specifically is for the 2015 and up Mustangs, and that mounts between the first and second center vent right here, and that uses this piece of plastic right here. And you can notice there's 4 holes on the front face of this piece of plastic. That's actually going to hold the piece right here. This is actually the socket piece that's going to mount the actual phone holder. So that's going to mount to that. This mounts to that, and this actually mounts in the car. And then this will give you a decent range of motion of how you want to angle the actual phone holder to, you know, you want it to face upward a little bit more, downward, you want to, you know, face, depending on your seating position, your eye level, and a number of other factors. I wanted to point this out real quick in review of the instructions, which I'm sure everyone reads. It does spell out not to install this piece right here to the actual main base mount plate. And I guess first off, if you happen to thread your screws into here, which comes in this little baggie, 4 of them, these are, looks like self-tapping type screws. They're significantly larger than the tiny little holes here. So these are actually going to chew up the plastic a little bit to bite into it. But if you install this to this, and then you go to mount this in there, and for some reason there's a defect, or you just can't get it to install for whatever reason, and you want to do a warranty or get something replaced, or maybe return it or whatever, it will invalidate your ability to do that. So do not chew up this with the screws into this until this is mounted into the car. I just wanted to point that out so you guys don't potentially make a mistake. I don't see how this would actually make it more difficult to install, but hey, you never know. And I also wanted to point out, this will actually be installing horizontally to fit these screw holes, only line up that way. So it's kind of weird seeing the logo kind of sideways, but it won't matter really because this will kind of be behind it. But you know, would be nice if they offered maybe 2 versions of this, one with a logo down here, one with a logo over here, or a no logo version. If you're a stickler on, you know, small details like that, but not a big deal. And a real quick review of the process of actually getting this thing mounted is, once we're in the car, I'll show you all of this. You want to start at the bottom. This will clip up underneath, right above the infotainment screen. You're going to then push this between the vents. You can go between the first and second, or the second and third vent, whatever your preference is, most likely the first and second, because you of course want this probably to be closer to you, but you never know. And you're gonna actually bring it around the lip, push this up until it clips into place. Once you get it situated how you like it, you can then go ahead and you can mount your actual phone mount knuckleball or whatever they call this thing. And so that will be added after the fact. Be careful you don't drop your screws once you do that. And if this is a real tight squeeze and you can't quite get this clip in here, they do provide this tool to help open up that gap in the plastic to help fit this in there. There's no 3M. It looks like it's just kind of a rubber grippy texture. I know my Camaro mount, it does have 3M pieces on it, but since this looks like a better biting surface area, you don't have to worry about that. Another thing I wanted to review real quick, the Mighty Mouse charger itself. They have some stickers on here. You're probably gonna remove these, but until you do so, just a quick review. This is the grip release, so it doesn't do anything when it's not powered. Once we get it plugged in, I'm assuming you hit this button and the arms will open up or something like that, and you can grab your phone easier or more quickly. And then of course this, pretty cool, it adjusts the location of the charging coil. I'm guessing it sits something like this, and if you move it based on what phone you have and the location of your charger coil in your phone. So it's kind of cool, gives you adaptability and adjustment to cover more range of phones. And if you happen to get a different phone, it could potentially still work with different phone, upgraded phones, and all that fun stuff. So really that's the overall gist of things. We're gonna get this mount in place, logo up, get this bad boy mounted on here, whatever direction you want. It's gonna have to be like this or this with these 4 screws. And then once you have those, it's as easy as loosening up this. Snaps into the ball socket here. You tighten it back up, potentially not drop anything. And I mean, that's it. We can then get this plugged in. They do provide a cigarette lighter adapter and a cord to provide power to the charger. Find a good way to run the cable. You know, depends on your application of how you want to run it. And then we can call it a good install. So let's go ahead and get to the car, get this bad boy installed, get the phone in here. I'm gonna get my wife out of the house and ready to rock and get this thing going. It looks like she's excited to get this new phone mount in place.
Hey, vlog.
You're fired.
Is this like paparazzi?
Yes, you won an award.
I don't want paparazzi.
It's the award is to do the dishes.
Huh.
Enjoy, enjoy.
You like mommy's outfit?
Very summer attire.
Okay, stop videoing me.
That's a work outfit right there.
Hey, peace out.
All right, my beautiful wife, AKA my assistant for today with the install. And I got all the pieces and parts. She has the other half of the parts, and we're gonna get this thing installed. Thankfully, this is a convertible, so a little bit easier getting everything situated. Getting rid of this junk. Sorry about that. And here we got the ProClip mount. And as discussed, it'll simply go underneath this lip here, between the vents, and then you push it until it snaps into place, hopefully. All right, there you go. And now we get to have the ball attached to the mount here. Don't get too excited. But, and which way do you want? You want the logo to be over here or over here? You won't really see it though. Kind of like that?
That's fine.
That'll look good? All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing installed. 4 screws right here. Bam. All right, I'm gonna get these screws here. I'm gonna do some screwing. And try not to drop it. Can't really see what I'm doing here. Having a hard time getting it in. Stay focused, please. Looks like she needs a water break after 5 minutes of intense installation work. All right, now back at it. I'm gonna finish tightening up these screws right here, and then we can get the actual mount for the phone snapped into place. You hydrated now?
Yep.
Gonna go ahead and get this thing, this threaded socket here loosened up, and just go ahead and snap that thing into place. Hopefully it goes. All right, go ahead and tighten it back up. Go ahead and tighten it. Spin the little, no, it's not a clock. Oh my God. The thing you just loosened, tighten that up so it's, so we're gonna wanna get an angle on this thing. So how you, all right, go ahead. All right, go back to camera duty. You've been relieved of duty here. But, oh my God. Okay, so this is a second take. She accidentally removed this piece here completely. So guilty. Do not remove this piece because then you can't retighten it once you get it on the ball here. So is it, that's the second attempt. Failed. Oh my God, it's next to the peppermint candies. So you need to go swimming. Go fish that out. Go ahead. Come on. Can you get your hand down there?
No.
Oh my gosh. You think I can get my hand down there? Come on. Okay, so the threaded piece is back on here for the third attempt. Now go ahead and we're gonna snap that into place. Hopefully it'll fit still. Don't punch it through. There you go. Now can you tighten it up a little bit? Are you screwing it the right way?
Yes.
Righty tighty. Okay, now kind of, you want this angling towards you a little bit. So when you're in the driver's seat, there, you want to angle like that. Now tighten it up.
It's not on the little thing anymore. There it is.
Comes with this beautiful cigarette lighter adapter for USB, which I believe they say you must use. You cannot use the USB port that comes with it. I guess it just does not provide enough power to power your phone and the Mighty Mouse charger. So let's try to plug this thing in here. And then goes in somewhere. There we go. Whoa, that's fancy. Make sure you do remove this little seal here. There you go. And then if you calibrate the coil location on the back here to where you want it on your phone, I'm not really super familiar with iPhones, but I think I have it about centered. And then if you put it on the correct spot, it should close the arms and start charging. Maybe. Come on. Put it on your phone. If you have a weird camera protrusion or case protrusion or anything like this, you're going to want to make sure you have the coil situated so it will charge, and this piece will actually sit above the Mighty Mouse charger. So then hit the little button to open the arms, and if it detects the phone, it should close the arms and grip the phone. And I don't know if you can see that, but it shows it's charging. It's wirelessly charging. Now you can run the cord down here any way you want to go. So we'll figure that out. Everybody's going to want to have their own preference, but maybe we'll, I don't know. She'll figure that. She'll do some kind of fancy cord management of some sort. I'll link in the description some different cable management, you know, like 3M pieces with a little clips. So probably something like this, or bring it behind it and run it like that will probably be the best. And of course, if you want to release it, just make sure you have your phone in your hand before you hit the button, and it unclips. It should then kind of close it, get itself out of the way. You want it to open it back up. And there you go. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing wrapped up. Overall, another great product by ProClip. Definitely check them out. Check out the links in the description. And most likely, they'll make a variation for your car and your phone, almost every combination possible. And it's that easy. Pretty simple ProClip install on my wife's 2019 Ford Mustang. I already have one on my 2021 Camaro ZL1, and of course she got the fancy one. You know, happy wife, happy life, and all that fun stuff. But super easy install. Can't really go wrong with the ProClip. You know, I'm gonna put it in probably every single car I have, regardless of the price, which is very reasonable, especially for the features you get. And you have a huge array of options. Every car, every phone, pretty much, it even does tablets. Probably can hold a computer based on the mount you have. But for me, you know, super happy with it. Thanks a lot to ProClip for hooking me up with this specific mount for my wife's car. She's very grateful. She loves the setup, the convenience, be able to just lay her phone right against that, and it grabs it automatically, starts charging it. Doesn't have to worry about fumbling with wires, plugging it in, unplugging it, wearing out the charger port of her phone. This keeps her phone in good shape, keeps her car looking good, and super minimal design, very clean, very sturdy, short of, you know, running into a pedestrian, which Mustangs are known for. Your phone should be stable and not falling onto the floorboards under your feet. So if you like any more videos, make sure you hit up the subscription, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the links, check out ProClip, see if you have a choice for your car. And as always, have a good one. Peace.